Hello. Thanks for once again allowing Lily Bear to take you beneath the crust, where I talk about what you're afraid to think about. I'm so glad you're back. Once upon a time called now. Once upon a time called now. Ready? Aim. Fire. Ready. What starts with once upon a time? A fairy tale. The idea that there's any time other than now is a fairy tale. Now is the time to realize that there's no time but now. Aim. Today is July 16th, 2024. Say I have a doctor's appointment for December 7th, 2047. That's over 23 years from today. But when I get to my appointment in 2047, the time will be now because there's no other time but now. I can go to the 2047 appointment now in 2024, but I will have to wait because this July 16th, 2024 is not the nowness of my December 7th, 2047 appointment. Once upon a time called now. Now I know we're used to waiting a long time when we go to the doctor's office. We're used to waiting, but see here now. Fire. Now is the time to realize we must be specific with the unspecified. Remember when Alice in Wonderland was talking to the Cheshire Cat? Alice said to the Cheshire Cat, "Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here?" The Cheshire Cat said, "That depends a good deal on where you want to go, where you want to get to." Alice said, I don't much care where." The Cheshire Cat said, "Then it doesn't much matter which way you go." Alice said, "So long as I get somewhere." The Cheshire Cat said, "Oh, you're sure to do that if only you walk long enough." Alice wasn't specific with the unspecified. She knew she wanted to keep moving, but to where? Alice said, "As long as I get somewhere." And she was very polite when she asked for directions. She was very polite. Alice said to the Cheshire Cat, "Would you please tell me which way I ought to go from here?" It didn't matter that she was polite. She wasn't specified as to where she wanted to go. We got to be specific. Now's the time to realize we have to be specific with the unspecified. Sounds familiar? Just moving with no goals set? We're moving. We don't have any goals set. Or if we have ideas about getting somewhere, we're not specific in our minds where we want to get to. Therefore, we're unspecified about what we need to do to get there. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Walking in the hopes of getting somewhere. Or in the black man's case, too often the black man is walking to be led somewhere. How many times have we said we were going to do something one day or someday? Any day now, I'm going to do this. I'm guilty of saying it, and I'm guilty of waiting for the one day or the someday. Now is the only time there is. There's no someday, no any day, and no one day. Let's say the days of the week together. Say them with me if you're so inclined. Monday, Tuesday. Let's make sure we put emphasis on the word day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Did any of us say one day? Did anyone hear anyone else say one day? What about someday? Any day? No. We didn't say that because now is the time to realize that now is the only time there is. There's no time other than now. And just like with Alice in Wonderland, if we walk long enough, we will get somewhere. But where? Now's the time to be specific and specify where it is we want to walk to. Where are we trying to get to? We are very specific about the problems, but unspecified about the solution. Notice I put an S on problem, but not an S on solutions. The reason I did that is because now is the time to be specified that though we have many issues, sometimes solving one issue can take care of most issues. I'm going to go so far as to say this, that we as Black people only have one problem. Anything else is signs and symptoms of the one problem we have. Almost everyone I talk to about the specific plight of us as a race lists unemployment, incarceration, division, violence, and on and on. I've heard them all, and I've said most. We are specific about the problem, but are unspecified about the solution. We are specified about unemployment being an all-time high among us, but now is the time to be specific that we must create our own jobs. We do the work in most cases, but we don't realize that we can own the businesses that's contracted to do the business. We are specified that incarceration of our young males is criminal. Now is the time to be specified that we allow our youth to be criminalized. We are specified that mass division among us is our biggest problem. Now is the time to be specified that we hold the key to bridging the divide. It needs to be specified that we should seek out like minds and move forward. Now is the time to get off the emotional wagon. That's my mama. That's my father. Hey, that's Aunt Lily Pearl. You can have a relationship with anyone, but that doesn't mean you have to try and convince them to think and act like you, nor do you have to think and act like them. We are specified that our children are being miseducated or not educated at all. Now is the time to be specified that we need to educate our own children or make sure the people who are educating our children do it properly. As I've said, I've heard them all say it, and I've said most of them. Our children are being abused by the police. The school system isn't educating our children. Black folks need to stick together. Blah, 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 blah. We are specific about the problems, but are unspecified about a plan to fix the problem. Or if someone has a plan, a plausible plan, but because it's not my plan, then I won't support it. Or I won't support the plan because the person who has the plan didn't speak to me 10 years ago on the city bus. See, that's that emotional roller coaster. A Black person can do 99 great things that we agree with and do just one thing that we don't agree with, and we won't be a part of anything that person is doing because you don't agree with that one thing. I don't agree with just that one thing. Well, I'm specific about the need, and I have a specified plan. I'm specified that if you have a like mind, you are the specific need to make this plan work. I hear so much now about empowering ourselves. That's the buzz phrase right now. Empowering ourselves. You know how it goes. Someone says a certain something and it sounds good, so we wear it out. And empowering ourselves is a good thing. But so many times we latch onto a phrase and say it over and over while not changing our actions or doing anything different than what we're doing already. Because saying this seems to make us think we are accomplishing something. Same thought equals same action equal same results. Now is the time to realize that. Now is the time to be specific as we specify that the same thought equals the same action equals the same results. Now's the time to be specific about the specified truth that just saying something usually doesn't change anything. Now is the time to be specified about the specific fact that we can never empower ourselves until we take responsibility for ourselves. Until then, it would never happen. Now is the time to admit to yourself. The only way we will be able to move forward is to specify ourselves to ourselves and be specified on the truth about ourselves. Until we do that, we aren't going to move forward. I'm specified on that. One of the hardest things for me to do is to admit myself to myself. I remember when I worked with a girl at an insurance company. She asked me what type of person I saw her as. I told her I don't like to get into these type of conversations. Oh, she kept insisting. So I specified herself to herself. I said, you're two-faced, dreadful hearted, envious, jealous, and a few other descriptive words I kind of threw in them. She said to me, no, really. I lied to herself about herself. And she said, see, I knew that. Because I told her, I said, you're nice. You wish everybody well. You don't never bag. Lies. I write lies. But she said, I knew that. People want to make out like I'm a bad person. I mumbled to myself, that's because you are. She refused to see herself as herself. Therefore, she couldn't admit herself to herself. Now's the time to be specific and specify that everything on the outside of you is a direct reflection of everything on the inside of you. Everybody and everything around you is you. If you want to know the kind of person you are, look at the people around you. Everybody around you is negative. You're a negative person. Deal with it. As a negative person, even if a positive person come around you, they won't stay long. Now is the time to be specific that if you change your inside self, everything around your outside self will change. Thanks for listening. Support our youth. Reach out to the young brother who dropped the beats, spacemanfalcon at gmail.com. spacemanfalcon@gmail.com. Keep on churning till the butter come. Albert C. Richardson, a black man, patent the butter churn, U.S. patent number 446470, February 17th, 1891. I'm Louis Bell. I'm just trying to create a dialogue. I'll leave you with this. If they close my book, you remember my story. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and oh yeah, stay tuned. A Nat Turner Runner production. Lock and load. Lily Bell. Be encouraged.